Mahatma Gandhi is often lifted up as someone who lived Jesus' example of nonviolence. However, during World War II, he advised the British people to lay down their arms and surrender to Hitler. What would Jesus' advice have been to the British? And what would your advice have been to the British?
Our advice would have been Jesus' advice. And Greg will now tell you Jesus' advice.
How it relates to Gandhi. See, I think, that is a very good question. It's very good. But here's an important distinction that is all too often not made, even in the literature that deals with pacifism and nonviolence and things like that. A lot of Anabaptists, I think, make it, and it's this. The traditional view of nonviolence with the Anabaptists wasn't just about being nonviolent because you thought it was effective or for any other reason other than that's the kingdom way of living. Nonviolence wasn't an end in and of itself. You're nonviolent to bear witness to a different kingdom and a different king. Where it's not done because you think this is the most effective way to run the world. It's not a utilitarian pacifism. There are folks who are utilitarian pacifists, which means they believe that the most effective way in the long run to run the world and to bring about the most peace is by refusing to fight evil. And they try to make a case on that basis. I don't know if they're right or not. I actually am inclined to think they are right, but it's a very hard thing to prove. But that's not my motivation for being committed to nonviolence. My motivation for being committed to nonviolence is obedience to Jesus. And to bear witness, therefore, to a different kind of kingdom where the value of that kingdom is so great, you don't have to protect your own life. You'd rather die than inflict harm on somebody. But for that reason, because it's to bear witness to a different kingdom, I would encourage all people who want to bear witness to that different kingdom to lay down their arms. Although I wouldn't say necessarily easily surrender to Hitler. I'd say look at all other options and other ways of preventing him and stopping or whatever, but get ready to die. But I would encourage them not to take up arms. But I wouldn't say to everyone in general that they're supposed to do that. I wouldn't say it to the government. Romans 13 says that that's exactly why God permits the government to have the sword and then uses or files the governments as he finds them in order to keep some law and order and stop sin and all that kind of stuff. So there's a role for that. It's just not my role because I'm called to bear witness to a different kingdom. So I wouldn't agree with Gandhi on this. And of course, Gandhi, he was a utilitarian pacifist and not a Christian pacifist. So he wasn't trying to bear witness to a different kingdom. He just thought this was the wisest way to respond to evil, believing in the long run it would be the most effective thing that people could do.